What is happening, everyone? I am Alec Lance Corp Seep, and today we are going to do something new today. So, I've been doing a lot of music lately, and 2 albums. Check it out on Spotify, follow me on Spotify. And I just want to do something new. So, why not do something new than to do music reviews? That's right. So, today is my first episode of reviewing music, and I'm gonna review an album today, and it's by Kesha, and it's titled High Road. If you haven't listened to it, please go listen to it. If you all have a childhood, you will remember Kesha from 2010 to 2012 with her songs like TikTok and blah blah blah. But we're now into a new decade, 2020. Her album High Road is much anticipated by many fans, and today let's talk about that. For this review, every track I will give a rating, then I'll explain why I did it and like describe what about the song that I like and don't like, and then after all that, at the end of the video, I'll give my full score for it. The whole entire album as a whole. Is it cohesive? Does it sound good? Let's just jump right into it, shall we? So the first song tonight, it's honestly a really good way to start an album where you're trying to tell everyone that you just want to have fun, you just want to do some of your own music, you just want to live your life to the fullest, and this song just makes a good introduction. With her deceivingly piano ballads, she just morphs it in and suddenly cuts it off with a rap, disco, pop rap, party vibe that we've never heard from Kesha for years, and it's just nice to relive that nostalgia that my childhood had in 2010. And overall, this song was just pretty good, so I'm gonna give it a 75 out of 100. So the next song is My Own Dance, and also this song is very similar to the first song tonight, but it was kind of a more laid back, fist pumping. It's really fist pumping. It's the lyrics were funny. Obviously the star lyric, "Don't circumcise my circumstance," that is just cringy but funny, but also smart at the same time, and it just really makes this album a lot more fun, and this song a lot more fun, and I just want to give this a 73 out of 100. Now the third song is Raising Hell. Now this song featuring Big Freedia, this is a good song, honestly. It has a very gospel vibe that we've never heard Kesha had in 2017 or in the party era. And it just kind of morphed the genre of her 2017's Rainbow, like acoustic ballad and like country, into this like disco, and then just morphs it together with this gospel pop, and it was really really cool, and that's why I'm gonna give it a 70. Fourth song is the last song to be of its genre in the album, electronic pop party hardy vibe, and High Road is really laid back, I must say. The sonics were, you thought that it was gonna go one way, but it goes another way because of its verse. Such a fast rapping verse from Kesha, fairly good by the way, and it turns into this chorus of very slow, vibing, cool swaying of a the verses just cut that intention a bit too much, and it just feel a bit off, not as impactful as the other three, but the contrast between those two is Kesha, honestly. So I'm gonna give it a 67 out of 100. Now we're diving into the different part of the album, which is the more country, which consists of Shadow, Honey, Cowboy Blues, and Resentment. Now Shadow, honestly, the best song in the album. I'm just gonna say it out there, it is gut wrenching. It is so powerful, the way the chorus just blows in and opens up into this noise, holy hallelujah Jesus music. It is gorgeous. It combines her pop ballad music in Rainbow, and it just gives this holy vibe that we are good and we should not listen to anyone who are negative, and just get out of the way. You are my shadow, and just go out. and for this I am gonna give it 85 out of 100. Now we've got Honey. Honey, it's pretty good too. The sonically wise, it is completely different from everyone else. But it was a pretty good chorus. It had a pretty good chorus because of these like gospel like choir vibe that it was giving. It was pretty good too. And for that, I'm gonna give a 66. It's not as good because of how different the sound was, but the chorus was just so moving and emotional. That was pretty good too. Now, the next one is Cowboy Blues and Resentment. Now, I'm gonna review this both together because both of them are pretty similar, sonically wise, because they didn't have as much of an electronic vibe into it. So they're both acoustic. They're both using their guitars. Cowboy Blues was really soothing to the ear, as well as Resentment. Both of them share a really good emotional story and message behind them that really shows us the vulnerable side of Kesha, and for that I'm gonna give both of them a 70. Now, this comes to the part of the album where it gets a little bit crazy, with like 80s vibes and like very like experimental pop, starting from A Little Bit of Love. The sonically wise, it just I feel like Kesha just reminds us that her music is going back to the Tonight and My Own Dance and Raising Hell electronic sound. But instead of here, it starts off with piano and it just escalates to this and moves and comes with this explosive chorus that reminds us of Tonight. And it is a pretty good opener. A song, individually wise, this song is not as good as the rest of the songs, but it is a good like interlude to the next song. That's why I'm gonna give it a 65. Now, Birthday Suit, honestly, this is probably the least best song on the album. It is pretty messy because it felt like there were 3 songs into one song. Like it combined 3 songs into one, and honestly, with a bit more connection and a bit more cohesiveness, it might have sounded way better than a lot of the songs, but it just felt really off. It cut into pieces where it shouldn't feel that way. But we all know that Kesha is all about cutting and chopping his genres into verse and chorus. But this one was just a bit too choppy and a bit too messy. But each of those parts sounded really good, and honestly, I will have to give it 63. Probably the lowest score in this album. Then moving on, we have Kinky featuring Kesha with her dollar sign. Now, this song is pretty 80s, and this is a damn good song. I mean, it just reminds us fully of her old vibe, and it was just a good song overall. Like, the message was clear, it went a little bit kinky, and it was just a fantastic song in the middle of the album. Followed by Potato Song. Now, Potato Song, sonically wise, was also very, very different. It had this pirate, like a waltz kind of vibe of the dum bum bum dum bum bum. It was pretty good. Honestly, it just tells us that she wants to just make potatoes, and just because she wants to, she just wants to create music that she loves. And this is a pretty good sonically example of that she just wants to make music that is fun for her, and it just sounds different from the rest. So that's why I'm gonna give it a 79. Now, we have BFF. BFF is a good song. I mean, it's 80s, similar to Kinky, but with her best friend featured in, featuring Rebel, if I'm not wrong. The song is so cohesive with both of their voices together. It just melts and just melds together and just becomes such a great, soothing 80s like a cool vibe, and it was just so smooth. And that vocoder as a pre-chorus, that is just a touch of elegance into the song. It made the song even more electronic, but yet so smooth and yet so disco, like a slow disco vibe, and it was pretty cool. So I'm gonna give it an 81. One of my favorites, Father Daughter Dance. Well, the lyrics here is so gut-wrenching, but it had a positive inf to it, and sonically wise, it is not the best in the album, honestly, but the music was just there, and it was just floored. I was just floored by how the lyrics how she sang, how Kesha sang with all her heart into it. This song was so, so, so soothing to the ear because she was just hoping and mourning for something that she didn't have as a child, and that just hits us to the bone. That's why I'm gonna give it 84 of 100. Now, the last two, Chasing Thunder. Well, Chasing Thunder is a really good outro to the album as well. It really like ends it off on a high note with its clapping, rising pre-chorus, and the wails and the shouts of and the yells of men. I don't know what I'm saying, but it just sounds so euphoric and uplifting as an ending song to the entire album, with just, you know, chasing thunder and just being free and alive. Chasing Thunder, I'm gonna give it an 83, but for Summer, I'm gonna give it an 84. This song is in bonus track, but it sounded really good. It sounded like a song from The Greatest Showman, or some, like, I don't know, Annie musical, but it's so sonically good, fantastic. I mean, the lyrics were about being free, being wild, being crazy, and her voice, Kesha's voice, is just amazing in this song, and just yelling her heart out that she wants to be free and she's alive and she's going wild and crazy. That's just what we all need in our lives, and for that, that's why I give it an 84. So there we go. That's the review of the entire album, with a lot of detail. Honestly, as a whole, this album was really cohesive. Parts on the album that were very fragmented. Obviously, like Birthday Suit and Potato Song, sonically those two were super different from the rest, but it's Kesha, and suddenly it just morphs into this experimental pop that she just wants to create music that she thinks that it soothes audiences, and I can appreciate that and I can respect that. So honestly, as a whole album, this is a pretty good album. Is it better than Rainbow? I'm not too sure. Is it better than her old stuff? I'm not too sure either. This album is a good amalgamation of pop, rap, dance, and just feeling good. This album is all about feeling good, and that's why I'm gonna give it overall a 78 out of 100, or A-. I'm gonna give it an A-. And that's about it. So thank you guys for watching this really long, holy hell of a album review, but I hope to shorten it if possible. And please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more of these reviews, or if you want me to react to videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.